You know what a turbo engine is. And it also makes a similar sound. Listen to this. This decanter is patent, and when I designed it, I only designed it because for my 30th birthday I wanted to give a gift which was special. I was born in the year of the snake, so I thought a decanter looking like a serpent would make sense. On top of it, my mother's name is Eve, and I live in a big apple, so it all makes sense. This is how we designers get into the mood. What I didn't know is that this decanter decants 8 times faster in terms of aeration than any other decanter on the market. Thanks to A, the long neck. When you pour the wine, it starts to breathe. There is no oxygen in the bottle. The wine opens up, and then each time I have to pour, I have to suck fresh oxygen into the glass. And ladies and gentlemen, on top of it, it pre-proportions the amount of wine that you want to pour. And I was just lucky. And you can always tell aeration, maximum aeration, by the foam cap sitting on top of the wine in your wine glass. As you can see, this wine has been exposed to oxygen perfectly. What's sitting here? What's sitting here? Good. And I also would like to show you this decanter, ladies and gentlemen. It can be customized, personalized. It has 2 faces in the decanter. So you could put your pets in there or yourself. Wedding gift. When we designed this, we created a new term. Something which you cannot Google yet. Aeration paddles. I would like to call them paddles. What you don't know, but what people do when you go to a wine tasting with young wines, sometimes the owner, the winemaker, somebody turns his back to you and he shakes his decanter to aerate the wine. What you do here is you shake the wine in the decanter. I would not recommend this with aged wine, only with young wine. Look at this wonderful aeration. It doesn't harm, it doesn't hurt the wine, it helps the wine to open up. And what happens to young wine that we decant, that we aerate? The tannins become soft, smoother, like it would be naturally aged. Brings forward the fruit. Every wine, these are not my words, these are words from the industry, must be decanted. Red and white and Chardonnay. Okay. So I would like that we don't get confused now. Please pick up glass A in your left and glass B in your right hand. We're going to start with A. We try to swill. Let's see if we are capable of swilling 2 glasses at the same time. If you are, you will accomplish the test. So, A in the left, B in the right. Let's focus more on A in your left hand. Nice fruit, spice, cherries, blackberry, tight, lots of alcohol. On the right, glass B, this wine appears to be much more mature. Less alcohol, more fruit, more depth. We go back to A. In A, we have a little bit of a cheese tone, milk. In right, lots of fruit. And this is the fruit that is dominant. We taste the wine from A. Like a Chianti should be, this is Chianti Classico. A. Tight. Lots of minerality, lots of tannins, dry on the palate, a little bit green, definitely potential, rather shorter in aftertaste. more on the spicy side than on the fruity side. We taste Glass B. Definitely more mature. The tannins soft and silky. Lots of fruit. And flowers come to mind. Toasted bread comes to mind in the aftertaste. Round, not green, not bitter. Let's do this back and forth once again. Look at the color of the wine. Is there a difference in the color? Swirl the wines to see if the alcohol content seems to be the same. Smell once again. And taste on the palate. Try to give us an idea. The first wine, we know what it is. The second, we're trying to guess. Also pay attention to the lengths in the aftertaste. Which wine makes you think about food and wine pairing, and which is just a focused wine on its own. Because it's tight, fresh, young. Is there a difference between the two? Yeah? So I don't want to keep you too long from the secret. Simple, very simple. It is the same wine, same vintage, decanted or something. Same wine, same vintage. One was decanted and one just directly from the bottle. What a surprise. And of course, if you have different quality wines, even white wines, it would work the same way. When I did it for the first time, it was stunning to see what decanting does for wine. How it opens up the wine, how it softens the tannins. It completely, I wouldn't say changes the wine, but it makes it mature. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. I live in New York, as I mentioned. I do not have the space to age my wine. I do not have the patience. I go the same night as I have dinner to the liquor store and buy my bottle of wine. And then, I bet everybody in the room, you can confirm what happens. The last sip is always the best. Why? Because the wine was exposed to oxygen for a certain period, for it allowed it to breathe and open up. And the only way to get to that point from the beginning on is by simply decanting your wine. It doesn't get any better than this. Except, of course, if you have the time, the space to age your wine for many more years to come.
How long would you allow wine to breathe?
It depends on you. Wine is a very personal thing. It's nothing to fight about like politics or religion. You decide when a wine is mature. You decide what is an old wine. If somebody asked what is an old wine, I couldn't tell you. I had wines from the 80s, from the 60s, that were as fresh, tight and young as if it would be from 2005. It really depends on your personal preference. And if I say every wine should be decanted, of course the old wines we decant to split the wine from its sediment. But most of the old wines don't need decanting. If you have proper storage, and you know your wine cellar, and you know that this case is in there for 25 years, you most probably don't have to decant it. You can go directly from the bottle. Because you can also lose a wine by giving it too much oxygen. And what happens? Wine turns into vinegar. So to avoid this, it's really up to you to determine when. And what people recommend